Bret Hart. Bret
Bitter.
Hart at it again.
Why must he
He's-
be allowed to have interviews?
He's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be at.
Bitchin'.
That's right.
Jeez.
Ric Flair, Bill Goldberg, Hulk Hogan, you name it. Bret Hart has something to say about that person.
Maybe old Billy Boy should kick him again and set his head straight.
It's Bitter Brett. That's his new nickname.
Bitter Brett. There we go. Bitter Brett. I like that. We're going with that on the Shenanigans show from now on.
Oh
yeah.
Brett. Brett's a
Shenanigans.
tool.
It's time for Shenanigans, isn't it, Noah? Oh, wait, no, that's a game show. Wrong Shenanigans.
Botch.
What is
Botch,
he?
eh?
Bate.
Oh, Christ.
Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ review number 355. I am the moderator this week, the original review moderator. Virtue, of course, being joined by this week's elite panel of the review: Aaron Rift, Jeff Meacham, Walter Cruz, Noah Foster, and Big Baller G. What's going on, everybody? Big G, what's up? You almost weren't here tonight, but you are. What's going on?
Yeah, I was in the emergency room today. I'm doing a lot better. Yeah, I was in the emergency room for most of the day today. Wasn't feeling all that great, but you know what? Nothing keep the big baller down, so I'm back here on the review.
Dedication. We know TJS wouldn't be here if he was in a similar situation, but you are. Stay tuned. You know how this works. I'm going to go over to Noah. What's up?
What's up again, Virtue? NoDQ Galaxy and fam. Good to see y'all once again. It's been pretty steady here in Toledo, Ohio, and looking forward towards the conversation as always, Virtue. Let's get the ball rolling, as the OBG1 would say.
All right. Walter Cruz, what up?
Doing well. Good to be back on a review with you here, Virtue. So yeah.
Yeah, you
I'm really good.
You were my reliable one, and you kind of went away. I don't know if it was NXT, you moving, but geez, finally you're back.
It was the move, but I'm back.
Better than
All
ever.
right. And you cut to the chase. We're ready to go, right?
Exactly.
Well, and you're going to give extra time to Meacham because he needs all of it. Jeff, what's going on?
That's it. I need all the time today. I'm going through it. We're leaving this house after the day. So, yeah, I need all the emotional bullshit. Yeah, I'm doing okay. You know, it is what it is. We're turning the keys over today, so at the end of the week. So it's just kind of, bittersweet. But, yeah, I'm excited, man. We got two good topics. Two I'm interested in, as a matter of fact, especially with going to see John's, in theory, last PLE match at Survivor Series. So I'm very interested in the conversation. Let's get this ball rolling.
And I don't know if Psycho Jet Black will be here tonight if he's here, but like if he hears this right now, he can theme the whole night of super chats around Jeff Meacham's house that he's lived in the last 25 years. He can implement more questions with where did Jeff, do this and do that. And who knows? But you know how it goes. Somebody like him latches onto something and it takes over the show. So we'll see. Aaron, what's up?
It's been a bittersweet day to learn of the news that Jeff is leaving his family home of over 20 years. We had some great memories there. We filmed a lot of those old Talk Wrestling episodes there. In the parking lot was where Jeff ran over the Edge Bear, for the 5 people watching this that actually get that reference. But it was fun. If you ever watched Talk Wrestling in 2010, 2011, that period, that was filmed at Jeff's house. And we had a lot of memories there. And the house is being sold. It's the end of an era. He's there right now. So this is the last NoDQ stream, last NoDQ video from Jeff's location where Jeff's at right now. So yeah, it's a little bittersweet. I'm very happy that Big G is here and is doing better.
Yes.
He had a little health issue earlier, but he's tough. He's tougher than lowercase Big G. Lowercase G. He doesn't even get to be called Big G. He's certainly
That's
tougher
right.
than TJS. If TJS got a little paper cut, he'd be canceling the stream. But Big G, we love you, Big G. You're always loyal, and we appreciate you. We also appreciate Noah, Reliable One, Walter, and of course Virtue for moderating, and Jeff, of course, for being here for like 25 years or however long it's been. All right, we do have some super chats already. So Psycho Jet Black is here.
Say
By the
his
way,
name and he appears.
that's right. By the way, that QR code over on Virtue's, I never know the direction. Thank you, Jeff. The QR code goes to the NoDQ merch store. Buy a shirt, one that Virtue
can buy a hat.
That's right. Buy a hat
Do
and
it.
other neat things.
Do
All
it.
right. So
I need a new hat.
Psycho Jet Black said, Bitter Brett is more over than Austin Theory.
I am so looking forward to Theory
Christ
coming
almighty,
back.
here we go.
Kicking Waller's
Yeah.
ass.
Here we go, Big G.
Do we agree with that one?
Bitter Brett started in WWE television like in 95, 96, or, you know, right around there. So, yeah, he's had that a long time ago.
All right, we got another one here from Psycho Jet Black. Psycho Jet Black says, lawn mulch I just bought is more over than Theory.
Wow.
If it's that over, can you send some here so we can get the yard trimmed up, Psycho W? We appreciate that if you could.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Thank you.
All right. Good friend of the channel, Dave Scheffler, sent in $5. Thank you, Dave.
Yes.
And then we'll get to Virtue's first topic. John Cena versus Bron Breakker. If Cena in War Games, if not, maybe Gunther. Depends on where the story takes us. Well, this is one of our topics, Virtue, so I'm sure we'll be discussing that if Cena's going to be in War Games, if Cena's going to be facing Gunther in his last match or Bron Breakker in his last match. I mean, Virtue, I'll throw it over to you. I know that was one of the topics.
Well, isn't it? All right, so it's a not. WWE basically said his last match is December, I don't know, 13th, Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C., right?
Yes.
So obviously, I think about this. Think about how they've kind of how awry the whole Cena's final farewell tours went with the heel turn, The Rock not showing back up and all that. Look how Goldberg's send-off kind of didn't go great on SNME. They got to be planning a little bit better for Cena here. Plenty of time, make it seem like a big deal. That's what we're going to talk about first here. He's going to have a final opponent, right? And it can be anybody. And does he go over or not? Like, what did they do in this situation to not have a Goldberg experience where it kind of falls flat? They cut off the mic time. Like, this is Cena. This is a super big deal. It's not like Goldberg was the WCW guy. This is John Cena, and I think they need to make sure they treat this special. So let's go around and talk about who do you think his final opponent should be, and should he go over or should he put someone over? This will be interesting, but it's going to happen in our nation's capital. I kind of like that. I don't know. Anyway, we're not going to talk politics. Big G, I'm going to start with you first.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Virtue. Yeah, so first of all, hopefully they do a lot better with John Cena's last match on Saturday night's main event than they did with Goldberg. I feel like they should dedicate the whole show to John Cena. Like, show, you know, since it's his like last match, you know, they should just like dedicate it to like highlights of him from like when he debuted in 2002 up until, you know, maybe last year or, you know, a couple of months ago. But that's just me personally. As far as the final opponent goes, God, what a if Gunther is, you know, if his nose is healed or whatever surgery he got done and is ready to come back, have it be Gunther. You know, Gunther is obviously one of the better heels in the industry right now in WWE, and I think he'll go over Cena. You know, Cena doesn't need the win here, and I think if Gunther wins, it would solidify him even more as a heel and as a more, you know, I guess, a more dominant heel in a way too. He beat Goldberg on Saturday night's main event too. So how fitting would it be that he would beat John Cena on John Cena's last match on a Saturday night's main event? So there's no other choice than Gunther. Like Bron Breakker, yeah, but he's feuding with Roman Reigns and the Usos now, and he's got his thing going on. Somebody put Obafemi in too, but I don't see anybody better than Gunther, to be honest. There's nobody better than Gunther.
I like that pick, Big G, and that's probably my number one. Because imagine them booking Gunther to be the guy that retired Goldberg. I mean, granted, he was retiring no matter what, right? I mean, it was the same with Cena. It's not like it's a career-threatening match, but that would be great for Goldberg. I have another, and that's if Cena goes out on his back like they usually do and puts someone over. So I agree with you on that. I do have someone else in mind if Cena goes over, but I won't say that yet because I want to see if somebody else hits on it. Okay. But thank you, Big G. Now I'm going to go diagonally over to Jeff Meacham.
How'd you get down there?
I had to restart because I'm lagging. I think it's because the internet is not really working here, so I'm actually hotspotting off the phone. I'm on my computer. So if I lag, or if you guys are hearing me lag or robotic or whatever, I apologize. I'm not hearing it from me, but I'm hearing everybody else do it, so it's probably my
sounds good for now.
Anyway, okay, cool. We'll run with it till we can. This is pretty cool for me because I'm not going to be in DC for the last match, but I'll be in San Diego for his last PLE match if he's part of Survivor Series. There's rumors he's going to be in War Games. There's rumors it'll be just him and somebody else one-on-one. I'm indifferent. I personally think he should have had a little more, okay, he got thrashed by Brock, but we got to make sure that AJ has a chance to beat up John Cena in Australia, so they rushed him back. Okay. For me, I would have it be somebody like Gunther, fresh off a return from the surgery and the injury angle that he had. That puts Gunther right back in that main event spotlight. That's what I would do if I'm booking the territory, if you will. I'd love it if it was somebody nostalgic. I'd also like if it was Joe Hendry, just because that seed's been planted all over the place throughout the internet wrestling community since Joe Hendry talked about it. So that'd be cool for me just to personally see it on Saturday's main event. And if they are going to actively go after Joe Hendry to bring him into WWE, great way to start. But for me, the top choice is going to be Gunther, just based on his timetable and the fact that I think he was unjustly thrust out of the main event spotlight. So put it back on him by putting him against John Cena's final match.
Okay, so another one for Gunther, another one for Cena going out on his back. Although I feel the last 7 years or so, Cena's, other than the heel run where he cheated a lot to win, he's kind of went out on his back already. Right. So in this case, it would be okay for him to get a W his last match. And again, I'll give you my thoughts in a minute. But you see what I'm saying? I like the Gunther pick, but Cena's one of those where he's put people over quite a bit, and some of them didn't really get over, but he still has laid on his back. I think it would be totally fine if he won his last match.
So I'm not saying he's necessarily going to lose to Gunther. I'm just saying I'm not saying he's going to lose to Gunther necessarily. Just have Gunther give him the fight of his life, and then Cena squeaks it out. They shake hands, maybe even, and then Gunther exits and gives John his moment.
I gotcha. I'm not a fan of Gunther being the guy to lose to Cena.
Nor am I.
Future and momentum he should have, but that's fine. All right, Walter.
I believe I was going to say a certain name. Jeff just said it, but I think that's Noah's top pick, so I don't want to steal that momentum from him. I think Cena should put over a younger person that's going to be the man and lead the WWE into its future. Honestly, the man just lost the NXT title. I think he's on his way up. What a way to debut if he's the final person. So, I mean, I think Cena does really well against monsters. Batista, these big people, I think it's either got to be Obafemi or Bron Breakker to breed that person in the future. And I believe it is a hell of a way to debut somebody from NXT if Obafemi goes up and he's the one to beat Cena and then has all the momentum in the world to enter the Royal Rumble, because it's like, who the hell is going to be the one to eliminate him? And the fact that that's in December and the Royal Rumble was like right there, right after, I feel like my number one pick will be Oba, and I think Oba should go over.
Okay. Fair enough. Now I will go over to Noah. Nobody said my person yet. And quite honestly, I think I'm pretty bold. Like my person, obviously Gunther is my 1A, so this would be my 1B. It's kind of bold, right? So probably not likely to happen, but I'll explain my reasons. But Noah, I've heard Obafemi. I've heard Gunther. Go.
Well, Goomer was definitely the top billing for all the right reasons people have said, but I also consider John Cena's final match. Do you want it to be nostalgic? Do you want it to be star-making? Do you want it to be memorable as one of John Cena's greatest battles where he got victory or where he put somebody over? I was forgetting about people that John Cena's connected with over the longevity of his career, if not the second half of his career, and also who he hasn't faced one-on-one yet. I've had names like Jey Uso, LA Knight, we're in the nation's capital. He and Chad Gable could possibly be a modern day level John Cena, Kurt Angle. But I also look at, know what I mean? I think of Jacob Fatu. I think Jacob Fatu is another person to consider that you move forward to the future as he's all gas and no brakes. And when John Cena came out during the Royal Rumble, they did have that subtle face-to-face as John Cena walked past him. And they haven't followed up on that. Now, truth be told, Jacob Fatu has been involved with Bloodline 3.0, with Solo Sikoa. And right now he's feuding with Drew McIntyre, who's more bitter than Bret the Hitman Hart, it feels like. Only he's a keyboard warrior. But I think that Jacob Fatu would probably be a fair shout because I think Jacob Fatu is also someone that you consider majorly for the future just to change the name dynamic up. I don't want to see some nostalgia act like we've seen most of this year with Batista giving us one last match, for example, like he did with Triple H at WrestleMania 35, because who goes over in that? Nobody. That's how you sell tickets. Make money. Whoop-de-doo. What does that mean for 2026? Dak diddly. So right now, just to be a little different, one of my names I was figuring about doing some research on other people, I'm going with Jacob Fatu here because I want to see Jacob Fatu move forward into the World Championship picture. All gas, no brakes. My pick be Jacob Fatu outside Gunther.
All right. Now, so do we think that it needs to be somebody, because remember, it's Saturday night's main event. It's going to be on Peacock. Mm-hmm. Does it have to be billed? We know it's John Cena's last match. Could they do open challenge where we don't know and it's speculation going in? Or should they announce who it is and then bill it that way? I think they should make open challenge because that's what he was always known for. So
exactly.
We can have an element of surprise, Triple H pop, like, oh my God. I'm still going to
I wouldn't be against that.
I hope they consider that. It doesn't have to be someone billed. Walter?
No.
I think, it would be cool if they did, bring the concept of like Taboo Tuesday, get some options, do Selective Saturday or something. Have us pick his last opponent out of a certain amount of choices.
Okay, have us pick his opponent.
Have us pick
you know what I mean? Because those things are probably rigged. But yeah.
All right, I'm going to go over to Aaron before I get my other pick here.
Josh Mansfield back. What do you think about Josh Mansfield being back?
Who?
Josh, he's under contract to the other company. Yeah. Where's the Price is Right thing when I need it? Womp 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 womp. Love you, Josh. Glad you're here. Glad you hear my request, but no.
Here you go, Jeff. Here you go, Jeff. Josh, go back in your corner with your Browns.
Oh, I don't get the
you know what?
But I know it's a sports dig, so.
Cowboys squeaked out a tie. I ain't talking about football this week. I'm not even going. I'm not.
All right. Back to Virtue's pick.
Yeah, back to Virtue. Go back to the Stat Boy Sports Bar for
football. I'm passing it over to Aaron here, and I'll let him go.
All right. So Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat. We'll get to that in just a second. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Here we go. Prediction: it will not be John Cena versus Alex Riley.
True.
Prediction? That's a spoiler. Paul Heyman.
I think that's
no kidding.
Psycho.
I really.
But you know what? What did he say to his face, Aaron?
All right.
That's the question.
So far, I think Gunther's the safe pick based on how they book Gunther. So far, not that anybody's other picks are bad, but the safest for a likely something WWE would do. But Aaron.
Yeah. Now, see, here's the thing. To quote Jeff,
Buy the shirt.
I agree with Virtue. I don't think John Cena should lose his last match because he has been on his back for so many matches, and it's just one loss after another. I want to see John Cena just win clean and be triumphant in his final match, celebrate with his family, and have a feel-good moment to close out his career. Like, he's been putting over people for years. He put over Solo Sikoa. He put over Austin Theory. He put over Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. I mean, he's been putting people over left and right. Brock Lesnar. Let him have a win.
Aaron,
wrap up his career.
With that thought, this is why I say this. And like I said, it can be bold. I would rather have this be an open challenge versus where we know who it's going to be going in. Because, again, Saturday Night Main Event on Peacock, they can do that. Cena's last match, people are going to tune in. They don't need to know his opponent. I think it would actually probably be a better build for people to be surprised. He's out in that ring for that main event, and one music hits, and everybody's going to – Brock Lesnar. They literally will have done all of what they've done for Lesnar to come out one more time, people to be like, oh, no. And this time, the story of his career, never give up, always come from underneath. Brock comes out with a fury, but this time Cena digs deep and does it and beats Brock Lesnar. To me, if I could sit in a booking meeting with them, even if it cost me my job, I would pitch that to everybody, and I think they would listen.
Now,
call me a mark, call me a fan. Tell me that's not a good way for John Cena to go.
I love that because that's literally the one thing he has been able to overcome his career.
Would Brock Lesnar show up at Saturday night's main event, though?
What's that?
Is Saturday night's main event beneath Brock Lesnar, though? It's not a PLE.
But again, if it's Cena, we don't know. Brock did that work with Goldberg. He let Goldberg squash him. He let Seth Rollins kind of squash him. Brock will do stuff like, you know what I mean? I know those were bigger events, but I'm telling you, man, I think that he would consider it a payday's a payday, right?
Yeah,
Brock
that's the
paid
thing.
to be in Washington, D.C., dude, and just imagine Cena in that ring. We've all anticipated 5, 6, 7 different people, and you hear Lesnar's music. That place is going to be so unsettling. The look on Cena's face, like, oh, shit. But then he does it.
Yes.
This time he does it. Dad in the front row, wife in the front. You can't go out any better than that.
Jeff Meacham finally getting
to be honest.
Go ahead, Aaron. Back to you. I had to
mean,
get out.
It's a solid idea. I feel like they would announce that in advance, though, but it would be a nice surprise if they did do that. I will say
Even
that.
if they announce it, if they announce it in advance, people would be like, oh, you know what I mean? Because of the squashes. But that's why I kind of suggested the surprise element.
Yeah.
And the way Brock's music hits, I think it would create a unique environment for those 5 minutes leading into the start of that match. People will be on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, we need John Cena's final match of his career, considering how much he's been solely the WWE company, man, as big as possible. Not only if it's one of the last matches of WWE's calendar year for 2025, but the last in-ring match of John Cena. So the unpredictability, Lord knows WWE doesn't know how to do that much anymore. The unpredictability should definitely be there for this match this year, if nothing else. That would be the biggest culmination of WWE's calendar year for 2025. Everything else of that is just, okay, Royal Rumble build.
And again, the safe pick, Gunther, build it. Bring Gunther back, build it, have him, if he's healthy, have him say, I retired Goldberg, now I'm going to retire Cena. That's the safe pick if you want to build something, the most likely. But Aaron, what else you got?
All right, so we do have some super chats to get to. I could see any of the names you guys mentioned. Could be Brock one more time. Could be Gunther. Could be Obafemi. Could be Bron Breakker beating John Cena. But I say since it's Saturday night's main event and I think John Cena should win, I say go with somebody like Dominic Mysterio. Dominic can take the loss. John Cena can win. It's a classic good guy versus bad guy scenario. Dominic tries to cheat. People think Dominic's going to win. Cena pulls it off in the end. And I don't know if it'll be for the IC title or not. There was a comment in here. Let me get to that super chat. Building Nexus sent in $2 and says, do you think John Cena goes for the IC title? Well, if Dominic's champion by that point, then they can do that for the IC title. Cena could win it and retire as IC champion. You don't like that idea, Walter?
No. They're probably going to continue this because I feel like Dominic is making the AAA Mega Championship a little more important. They're probably gonna let Rusev finally take it, and then Sheamus beat Rusev and finally get his IC title. They're gonna somehow renew that rivalry.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't even
Or
know what's
certain-
happening with
Or
Rusev.
a certain dragon comes back.
Ilya Dragunov is another one I was figured about, but I didn't figure about him until the open challenge idea came into my head because, again, another guy put over for the future. But if John Cena should win his final match, I don't think you get a better story to a career ending than Cena beating Brock Lesnar.
What if they did like a match? Like people have to fight, and whoever wins is Cena's final opponent. Like make it a big thing where like people have to actually earn it.
Yeah, I
They
mean
did
they
that
could,
for
they
the
could do that.
streak with Undertaker when Punk challenged Undertaker. So I mean, it's doable. It's feasible.
It's something different.
For me, yeah, with the IC, I think that should be like one of his last Raws, either Boston or MSG.
Yeah,
Just
so
like
they
a
might
one-off,
do the
like,
Dominic
whoa.
match before that. They could do the Dominic match at the Madison Square Garden Raw, or he could win the IC title from Dominic and then drop it to somebody that we had mentioned before in his final match.
Yeah, it's if you figure he's only
Trump
got
the next
4
week.
in-person dates left after Australia, so it's like if he beats Dominic and then drops it back the same week, then we've only got 2. It's like, oh, that seems like I'm not trying to call Dominic a waste because he's been unbelievable this year and last year, but that seems like a waste of the remaining dates for me.
All right, guys, you ready for some comedy?
Sure, why not? Go ahead.
No.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Thank you, Psycho Jet Black. Prediction: it will not be John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio.
Very likely.
Hey, and I didn't say Roman Reigns. If they've mixed it up. Doesn't need to be Roman. They're past their,
Yeah.
With this triple I relationship, I wouldn't put it past them to actually re-sign Del Rio though. I wouldn't put it past them.
Then why did Triple H get Del Rio out of there already? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, here we go with some more comedy. All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Says prediction: it will not be John Cena versus Baron Corbin.
Spoiler.
All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Prediction: it will not be John Cena versus EC3.
Okay.
All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. He says prediction: it will not be John Cena versus David Otunga.
I would love to know what Psycho does for a living.
Sure, it's like these two
All right,
guys got
Psycho
that
Jet
up.
Black sent
Pretty
in a
good
$2
topic,
super chat.
Right?
Prediction: it will not be John Cena versus Uncle Howdy.
Nah, it's not gonna be that. Not like Bray Wyatt. Nah.
All right. Prediction: it will not be John Cena versus Johnny Ace.
Why can't it be? Why can't he beat the shit out of that asshole one more time? Why? Why, I tell you?
Because he kicked my ass a few years ago, Jeff.
Oh, here you go. Here we go, Big G. You ready? You ready? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
But drum roll now? Jesus.
Prediction: it will not be John Cena versus Jeff Jarrett.
Thank you. Good night. I'm leaving. Bye.
We got to walk off on the review.
Aaron just reignited Big G's liver enzymes.
Yeah, big time.
That reminds me
Yeah,
of
no shit.
2006.
Hey, even though they got history, you don't think they're going to treat it, you know how we're talking Cena should go over? You don't think they're going to get as lazy as something like Cena versus The Miz, do you?
No. Virtue.
You know
They're
what?
watching.
The Miz.
I mean, I like The Miz, but the way, it's what's going to happen if it's The Miz.
Yeah.
The Miz went out there and spoke about how pissed off he was. I don't know if he was in character or what, but he's pissed off about not getting a match on the tour. Why not
the
throw
new
Miz in
Marine.
there?
I mean, they could do that because the new Marine it took over for Cena. There's a lot of history there, but that Michael J. Black said that one. I would say nah. They probably thought about it. Like I would at least say with the Miz, they thought about it.
Right.
I have an idea about the Miz. So So one of John Cena's dates is in Boston, right? So what if
Yes.
The Miz comes out, but then Carmelo Hayes comes out because he's from Boston as well?
Ooh, and he's never faced Carmelo Hayes one-on-one, and that would be a very interesting way to move for Carmelo Hayes and possibly also build Carmelo Hayes versus Miz Robbie. I like what you're thinking there, Big G.
Who cares about the draft rules anymore, right?
Branch Spadell out.
Yeah, if it's somebody young or up and coming, do they do the whole like ruthless aggression like Cena did, the angle? You know what I mean? That's the only way I could see anybody. Nothing against the NXT people or the up and comers, right? I don't know, but like I feel like how do you pull that off where people aren't disappointed?
Well, you got to make it a big deal.
Because look at Austin Theory, beat him at WrestleMania, and look at him. Like,
wait. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. He says prediction: it will not be John Cena versus Austin Theory.
Yeah, see, and
doesn't need to be. Theory beat him.
Yeah, what did that do, Jeff?
Cena gets his win back. Feel good moment.
So a lot of different things, and we'll find out, right? Because we know when the deadline is, the last match, and at least usually when December hits, it's like, oh, it's the end of the year. They kind of mail it in. Even when they used to have PLEs in December, at least now there's something like just before the holiday, just before Christmas, we can see Cena's final match. Whether it ends up just being cliche or something really cool. At least in December, there's something to sink our teeth into.
I miss Armageddon.
Same. I miss Unforgiven. At least it won't be like Capital Punishment, where it'll be John Cena versus R-Truth, with assistance by Little Jimmy.
All right, we got a couple more super chats, and then we'll get to the next topic here. So Jeremy Adams, I guess off of John Cena right now, says, with Bad Bunny doing the Super Bowl, how can WWE capitalize since he does business with the company? Well, one thing, they could acknowledge it. I don't think they even said anything on Raw, did they?
I think the biggest thing for Bad Bunny,
Triple H mentioned something.
If they do work with him again closer to the Super Bowl, bring him in and have him, Dominic, right? Whether it's that would be the big, I think.
WrestleMania.
Make him number 30 in the Rumble.
Yeah, I guess.
It's close to the Super Bowl. It's like 3 weeks from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Don't even need to be a fan to know that.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I would just promote it and at least acknowledge that, hey, WrestleMania performer is going to be doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl, something. I would think they would make a really big deal out of it, but yeah, not really much of anything from WWE. All right, so now I guess this could be a transitional question or comment here leading into Virtue's main event topic. So the Anime Gen 2.0 sent in $2. Thank you for that. Says, can we get Roman Reigns 2001 to 2003 back? This Roman Reigns has been garbage.
2001 to 2003.
2021.
Yeah, I screwed up.
Bloodline.
Botch.
No, it hasn't been garbage. I mean, he gets a pop every time he comes back. It's just been like, I'm going to announce the unannounced stuff kind of sucks. And why isn't he coming back for his title? Right? That's the biggest thing. So if we are going to transition to the main event, it's not per se about Roman Reigns. We can use him as the spokesperson for this topic because he's the one that gets beat up, comes back several weeks later, and gets a pop. Russo has been onto something lately, and it first started as a joke. He calls Triple H the king of pops. And I'm looking back at the last 6 months at least, and there's a lot, like literally AJ Lee, John Cena, or, when Brock Lesnar comes, it's literally somebody comes out semi-unexpected, unannounced, even if the internet speculates, to get that big, massive pop. But what really happens after that? And I think it's kind of, they're doing it a little too much, right? And granted, that's what I was saying. I'd like to see Brock come back, as like the open challenge thing for Cena, but that's because it makes sense there. He's going to come out to challenge Cena and then beat him up for a while, but then Cena comes back and beats him. So that's different. Roman Reigns has been the one guy they've done this over and over again. CM Punk to a point. He's not on all the TVs, So they use him at the end of the Raw music hits to get that pop. And I feel this unannounced, it's cool, but like if you do it too much, now it's like, is it the right thing to do? If they sign Chris Jericho and he's coming back, there's another one, and they're just going to continue to do it. And I know it creates a moment and it creates a clip that you can put on the internet. And, at first I thought Russo was just making fun of WWE because he's not there writing. So naturally everything they do to him sucks. But I'm like, you know what? It kind of makes sense. This unannounced, people coming back like Roman last night gets a big pop. Does it ever lead to anything? I'm feeling like they're just overdoing it. And that's what I want to talk about. Right. And it can be about any of the people that have recently come back, like AJ Lee or Brock Lesnar. So, Jeff Meacham, I'm going to start with you on this one. I love the pop, but pop. But like, man, it's like a routine thing that they the go-to. What do you think?
Yeah, same. I feel the same way. And I had a great. Oh, we have a dog cam. Don't mind me. I was flabbergasted to realize it was reminded. I don't know if it was on-air commentary or just a post I saw how long Rusev's been back. I felt like he just came back, but that was not the case. The initial pop was like, oh, Rusev's back. And then it's like, God, he's been back how long? And what has he actually done since he's been back? Except fall back into that mid-card hell that he was in before he left and that he settled almost immediately into an AEW. Roman, again, I think Roman's movie shooting and media schedule is what's dictating his, all right, I come back through a pop, go through a little pay-per-view or PLE storyline for a few weeks, get the crap beat out of me again and disappear. I think that's happening with Roman. But, Aaron's made a career out of how many times that graphic showed up. Roman Reigns returns on this show. So, but between that and the Cena Orton matches over the last 20 years, it's like, man, we've got graphics that can make wallpaper of the house if somebody wants to put it up when we sell it, whatever. But the other returns, they other than AJ's, which has cooled off a little bit because we haven't seen anything develop beyond WrestlePalooza. And maybe that's because she's taking time to process, and Punk hasn't been on until he's advertised for, I think, Raw this coming Monday.
Correct.
Yeah, the big returns, the big moments are great, but if there's no follow-up, what is the ultimate goal? Triple H came out to
R-Truth.
Yeah, Truth. Truth leaves or gets dismissed, comes back, has like a 2-week thing, and then now he's trying to tell us all how to set up the damn ESPN app. It's like,
you made him cut his hair for that.
Dude, Liv Morgan's
not wrong, Matthew. Not wrong.
Liv Morgan's next. They're going to use it. They're going to do her the same way. Oh, she's back.
Yeah, and then I think Triple H has a little bit of a nostalgia for his own return in 2002 when he was gone off the quad tear. Because man, the Garden damn near lifted off the freaking foundation when he came out there for that. But that's few and far between. It doesn't happen near that often anymore where you get that just unbelievable building shaking roar for return like he got.
Roman, and I'll give the benefit of the doubt to Royal Rumble returns like Alexa Bliss. That's different.
That's different. That's a whole other animal. But Roman's return at SummerSlam after he lost the title, that pop was major. That was in Cleveland, I think, right?
Yes, it was. Cleveland, Ohio. I was there live.
Okay. But every subsequent leaving and coming back since then, the initial pop is fantastic. And then it's like, okay, so what are we doing? So Roman is a great example for this, Virtue. Absolutely.
Well, you got to be careful because if you're bringing somebody back that's been gone a while and they're a heel and you want them to be a heel, be careful because they're going to get a pop. I mean, like Lesnar did.
Yeah.
So, but, be careful on how you do it. So Rollins, right, they brought him back at SummerSlam with the fake injury as part of the storyline. He ends up becoming the champion. And luckily that's worked out for him. But, yeah, there's so many cases. And I know we like surprise. See, and you set that expectation now of these surprises. So when we see Paul Levesque, Lee Fitting, and we don't get a good ending like at WrestlePalooza, now it's a bad C pay-per-view, PLE. So you set that expectation as we expect it every time.
Yep.
That's another problem. Right?
Yeah, that's fair, Virtue. And Triple H became the king of that lower third pops up, something's going down. And it hasn't on the main roster at all, it feels like. So
Nope.
Well, thanks, Jeff. We'll chime in if you have something else. I'm going to go over to Big G.
Big G. Yeah. So Roman coming back last night, like you said, he got the initial pop. He always gets the initial pop when he comes back. I mean, for me, it is what it is. We know his career is winding down eventually. He's gonna eventually shift over to Hollywood once his career is over. But I think for me, I think for people, it's like the element of surprise. Like we don't know exactly when Roman Reigns is gonna show back up. We don't know. We didn't know when he was done filming Street Fighter. Going back to like what Jeff said with Rusev, he got that initial pop, I think, after WrestleMania. I think he was on the Raw after WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken. And, he got that initial pop. And like you said, Jeff, like he really hasn't done anything really except feud with Sheamus over the past couple months. And now he's finally he got his IC title shot last night. Liv Morgan, I think, and lost, right? Yeah, lost by a cheap roll up. Anyways, when Liv comes back, I'm sure she'll get the initial pop back. But people still cheer for Liv. The fans still cheer for them, like after they come back, for certain people, because that's who they like. And don't get me wrong, Rusev, he still gets boos and stuff like that when he comes out. But I think it's just the element of surprise for people. For me, like I said, I don't mind it because I want it to be unexpected. I don't want to, Roman Reigns is returning tonight. Okay, well, great, Roman's coming back. How many times are we going to see Roman come back? But if it's the element of surprise, then I'm fine with it. And like Lesnar coming back, we know he was dealing with this whole lawsuit thing. We didn't know when he was coming back, and then he came back, and he popped up, and he got the loud reaction, and he still gets reactions every time he comes out too. He gets booed every time he's in the match and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm trying to think of one person. There's a couple people who don't really get a reaction when they come out, but when they don't know if a certain person's coming back and they see them come back, they're gonna get that pop regardless. So I don't know. For me, it's fine. Like I said, it doesn't really hurt my feelings or anything like that.
I mean, it could be part of their business strategy, right? With ticket prices the way they are, and that doesn't happen every show, but they do them enough. Hey, you want to make sure you don't miss the WWE event in your town because, you never know what's going to happen. And of course, the towns where nothing happens, bummer. But if they do it just enough, people keep going, buying those, inflated ticket prices just because they might see somebody return.
Yeah.
All right, Noah, over to you.
Well, you once called Roman Reigns a special attraction. How special ended when the surprise feels as normal as day turns to night? I mean, heck, I didn't go to SmackDown right here into Ohio where they have Brock Lesnar show up in the beginning and F5 Corey Graves freaking twice because those tickets are like $100. Pass. But yeah, I do think there's a sense of predictability heavily focused on in getting the big pop some point a couple weeks before a PLE just to push ticket sales because people basically are going to buy into it, but you want to still try and influence those that may not want to buy into it because at the end of the day, they might be looking towards one superstar. I mean, I literally looked at the highlight this morning on YouTube like, oh, look, Roman Reigns is back. Roman and Jay back together. Original bloodline. Okay, what? He's not going for a title. This is Crown Jewel. They're challenging for Temu Super Bowl rings in what used to be Bow Brand Supremacy on Survivor Series. Why the hell should I care? Oh, War Games. War Games 3 with Bloodline and Posse CM Punk versus this time Division when it was last time. Temu Bloodline when it was WWE versus Original Bloodline, which was the only one that mattered last time. Why should I care? It's just one of those things that I just don't think WWE cares anymore to get that major surprise because they know they're still going to draw a rating knowing that this is the guy people are going to watch. Yeah, Liv Morgan's going to be the next big one because at this point, they're going to probably have Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley go together as a babyface tag team with Io Sky to probably challenge Kabuki Warriors and Judgment Day in some weird 2026 early program. And Steve Valkyria, of course, will still have the title, and she'll have her own opposition. But I do think there is a sense where it feels less special knowing it's going to come if they're just going to repeat the same thing. So here's my question. How long before Roman Reigns gets his ass kicked again by the Vision? I'll wait.
Yeah.
This is kind of getting a bit redundant and a bit underwhelming for me, to say the least.
All right. Thank you, Noah. All right. Walter Cruz.
I think this is the embodiment of too much of a, even if it's a good thing, it's bad. One of my favorite events of all time, all the time, is the Royal Rumble. Now, if you keep doing all these returns and these surprises throughout the year, what the hell is going to make the Rumble special now? Like that was the Rumble's stick, you know. Pardon me for the corny pun, but that's what the Rumble was about. It was like, who comes back and what are the surprise entrances and things like that. Now you keep doing it throughout the year. It's like, what makes the Rumble special? You're actually hindering yourself. What makes the NXT call up special now? Because everybody's gonna expect these surprises now. So overdoing it is kind of hindering yourself. So I'm not sure why they're doing it so much throughout the years. The AJ made sense because 10 years she's been away. Okay. But that was like the worst kept secret. We kind of knew she was coming back. So for everybody else, I don't know, too much. And then when CM Punk came back, a few years ago, that's obviously that came out of that's the biggest take advantage of that. But I think this return for Roman is a little different. I think it's to perceive the whole Jay and Jimmy. It almost looks like Jimmy's getting ignored, and everybody's focusing on Jay and thinking Jay may go heel or something. Like, that's your chance to swerve and make it Jimmy. Naomi did a big heel thing. Let her husband do it now because he's being ignored by Roman and Jay. And so it seems like if you want to, they tried like 2 or 3 times to make Jimmy a solo star and it didn't work the way that they wanted. If you do it this time and you put him over Roman and you put him over his brother, maybe it's Jimmy's turn to be the big solo star. But we'll have to see. But I think that's Roman's just coming back to help his family get over behind the scenes, because I just feel like this is about Jimmy and Jay. It's not so much about Roman. He's here to put his own family over.
Hey, one person I don't expect to get that pop from for a long time? The Rock. That's where I set my expectations. And like I said, if it happens again, I'm sure shit'll hit the fan and it'll be a big moment, because we're all gonna give up on him based on everything he didn't do. But it's almost like we're getting all these other returns because Dwayne's returns, yeah, those are a thing of the past. We're gonna give you all these other returns and multiple returns, and we can do it without the past names of like The Rock and Stone Cold. But I don't know. Thanks for that, Walter. Now I will go over to Aaron and the NoDQ Galaxy.
And Mr. Tito, because Mr. Tito sent in a $2 super chat, says, who does Virtue love most, Roman Reigns, Roseanne, or Enzo?
I like all of them. I mean, it's just a different, depends. I'd like Enzo to be back in the mainstream because he was just such a talented guy, but I like all of them.
If 3 of them were drowning, which one would you go rescue?
I don't know. That's a tough one. Probably Roman. Gotta put Roman at the top of that.
All right, there you go. There's your answer, Mr. Tito. I hope.
But now if Enzo comes back, there's one more return. So now it's like, God damn it,
Enzo.
All right. So as far as this topic goes, yes, I think that we're definitely seeing an oversaturation of the returns in wrestling. I think back to Brock Lesnar when he was a part-timer, and after a while, they started having to come up with things that were way out of the box, giving Michael Cole the F5 and Cole's shoe flying off. And eventually they started repeating themselves. They were trying to be creative, but Brock Lesnar was a part-timer, and then they want to get the return pop for him. So he'd return and, he'd come back and do something that Brock does. But now we got multiple people that you could classify as part-timers. So not just Brock Lesnar, but you got Roman Reigns. Obviously, he's the main example here. And you got guys like CM Punk, who is kind of full-time, but I label him more as a part-timer. And they come back, do the run-ins, take a few weeks off, come back, do the run-in. And yeah, it's definitely getting a bit old, but you know what? It's getting the pops, and more power to WWE that Roman can get those kind of reactions. Hopefully this is his last break for a while, and he'll be back at least through Survivor Series and maybe even Royal Rumble. I'm sure he'll be gone for December's period, but I'm hopeful that he's got no more immediate commitments and they can keep him around for a while and see where this storyline goes for Survivor Series War Games. It's just tough when you have several guys and you're trying to do the same thing with them, have them be gone, come back, get the pop, whatnot, and they can end up repeating themselves. Yep.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never going to happen, but in the world, in the vacuum that it could, if Vince McMahon's music hit, what do you think that live crowd would do?
They would react positively for him.
It would be that would be the biggest even more than The Rock coming back. That would be the biggest holy shit moment in wrestling.
People would go crazy and they would be doing the bowing for Vince, and
Yep.
the internet, you would hear it on X. People would be very unhappy if Vince showed up.
I feel like that could be a chance to crash Aaron's websites.
It would. If Vince McMahon,
the lawsuit would have to be over. No criminal things against Vince, and even then, that's the lowest of single-digit % chance. But that's where we would have to be.
Let's put this all full circle and tie it together. So we talked about John Cena's retirement. What if for the final segment at Saturday night's main event, Cena's there with his family, and then all of a sudden, No Chance in Hell hits, and Vince comes out there and gives John Cena a hug and raises his hand?
Wow.
I would break the site.
You know me, I'd be right on there. I'd be like, yeah, I love it.
And then, the usual suspects on X would be like, terrible company. They're bringing back this guy. How dare they? All the guys keep watching WWE and supporting it by talking about it.
If the lawsuit is dismissed, too, if it ever got to that point, which it'll probably settle out of court. So usually when that happens, you still hold stigma. Like, what did you really do, Vince? But if it got dismissed flat out, the chances increase for Vince to show up one more time as a farewell. Like, it does.
I think he will be back one day on TV. I don't think he'll be back running the company.
No, but for that one appearance.
Yeah. Yep. I believe we have not seen Vince for the last time on a WWE.
And this is great. I'm glad you're saying that, Aaron.
Whether people like it or not, I'm just stating what I think is going to happen. Eventually, he'll be back when they feel enough to dive down. The lawsuit's resolved. I think
he owns a lot of stocks, even though not what he used to. He owns more stocks than any one single person of that company, correct? I believe that's still the case.
Yeah, Big G.
This might be irrelevant, but hell, if we can get Rick Moranis back for Spaceballs too, I think we can get Vince McMahon back in WWE.
Different situations, but yeah.
A little bit.
He did retire. If and when he
retired, take care of his family and take care of his sick wife. Vince didn't leave for the same reason.
It would be more like the Vince scenario would be more like if Johnny Depp is back on Pirates of the Caribbean. That would be more similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the flip side of it, if and when if he passed away in the middle of this, would they actually do the 10-bell salute and acknowledge him on TV or ignore it?
Yes.
Yeah, they would.
100%.
Absolutely, 100%. They did for Hogan.
They did.
There's nothing. There's nothing around him that he's going to prison. Like the feds pretty much backed away, and it's just this civil lawsuit. Like that's where we're at. Seriously, whether people like it or not. And Vince's powerful attorneys, at some point, he's going to be clean, like separated from all of this, and that live his life as a billionaire who still owns more TK or WWE stock than any single person.
Yeah. Aaron, do you think he attends the Hall of Fame? And do you think we see him on camera?
We're talking
probably not.
For Stephanie, probably not.
Do you think he attends and just stays in the back?
Good.
Maybe, but I'm not sure, you know.
I honestly
Yeah,
think it would have been a higher chance if it was Shane going in the Hall of Fame that you see him, but with Stephanie, because she's kind of said some stuff about it and like separated while he was in charge on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, she purposely resigned when he took the chairman chair back. So there's got to be something there. So,
like I said, settles out of court. Eventually, we still see him. This lawsuit dismissed, we definitely see him. Like that. That's my stance right now. And one of those two things is going to happen. Either it's going to settle out of court or it's going to be dismissed. Like that's what's going to happen.
Tune in to the next episode of Law and Order, courtesy of NoDQ.
There you go.
Dun, dun.
All right. We got a couple more here.
Oh boy.
Dave Scheffler sent in $2. He said, is Roman Reigns winning another title? And if so, when? I mean, that's another topic that we've been talking about, like not on this stream, but just online in general. Like, why is Roman Reigns not going for the world title? What's up with that?
I figured
Why-
Honestly,
yeah, go ahead, Big
in
Jake.
my opinion, I mean, this is my opinion. Y'all can hear. I don't think he needs a title. He had the title for 4 years. Why does he need another title?
But in kayfabe terms, Roman the tribal chief, why is he not coming back to be the top guy? Why is he just hanging around these scrubs?
He wants okay, if we're doing kayfabe, he wants. Say, I mean, like he's been at the top. He's been at the top in kayfabe too, so he's still technically a tribal chief. So why does he need a title to prove anything? He's still the top guy.
But like, let's look at this. If Cody is the WWE champion heading into WrestleMania, and Rollins is still the world champion, I know CM Punk is in this equation. Roman Reigns' chances of getting a big title match at WrestleMania is still very high.
Yes,
absolutely. So he's still good.
I'm going to say this, and I've mentioned this on other streams, I believe. I do think Roman will be going for a title at WrestleMania, whether it's Seth Rollins or Cody Rhodes. I think the top 3 men's matches will involve Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, and Gunther. Those 6 guys will be the 3 top men's matches.
He still owes Seth freaking receipt for what he did to him since WrestleMania. So there's that story that could be 1 year in the making. Seth versus Roman could be the bigger match versus Seth versus Punk, despite the fact that in the story of the calendar year, because Seth never really got one up on Roman in one-on-one action, and Seth now is the champion. Roman will never acknowledge that, but I just think there's more to that longer story with those two than Seth and Punk and the more immediate. And how many times they tease Punk versus Cody now for the last 2 years, and Punk failed to win the Rumble. So I think you're on point as far as those matches go and who's involved in them. It's just a matter of what equations we're dealing with, as long as it's not triple threats.
I think it's Punk versus Rollins. I think Punk wins the. Originally, I had said Sammy wins the Royal Rumble, but now that WrestleMania is in Saudi next year, he's going to win next year's Royal Rumble, so he can win the title in Saudi Arabia. So I think Punk wins the Royal Rumble this year, and it's going after Seth in WrestleMania.
Which leaves Cody with likely Roman, unless we push the Brock narrative.
All right, we got
the thing with the kayfabe reason. Roman's whole tribal chief thing was, even though it's not to be BS because he was want to keep himself on top, it's like, I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for the family. I want to elevate all of us.
And they do that.
Jay and Jimmy are elevated. So
they set up Cody and Roman 3 when they were doing those things in Atlanta for Bad Blood for the future. Yeah. So they have it on their docket as a possibility.
They're 1-1. You gotta have a rubber. They're 1-1.
I personally would have loved it if they let Jay have like a lengthy world title match, and he versus Roman for the title, and he got over Roman. Roman put his cousin over as you're the next tribal chief, but he defended the world heavyweight title against Roman at WrestleMania. Like I feel like they could have did that. Yeah.
Okay, we got 2 more here. Psycho Jet Black said, seriously, will John Cena ever come back for the Saudi Arabia WrestleMania?
Probably not.
I don't think he will. He's got a lot of movie projects, and he doesn't need the money.
No.
I think once this year is over, when we see Cena in WWE, it's for like a WrestleMania or something to cut a promo and just do his little thing, Hall of Fame induction, all that.
Maybe that's when they'll put him in the Hall of Fame in 2027 in Saudi Arabia.
He did say after
First
this year,
ballot, huh?
you won't see me in the sneaks and jorts. You'll just see me in full-fledged suit.
Yeah, he said he'll be involved some way, just not wrestling anymore.
Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah,
how
he's
he shows up at WrestleMania as part of the 27 class.
Yeah, I mean he's going full ambassador as soon as the crew's over, so that's a great way to do it.
There's
There you
another question: who inducts Cena?
Vince?
Jeff Meacham.
Kurt Angle.
No, that could be what brings Vince back, inducting Cena. Or it could just be Triple H, but
You,
it
Virtue?
would shock me if it's Vince.
Adam Copeland.
CM Punk.
Bret Hart. I think John Cena is one of the
No,
few guys.
no, not Bret Hart.
No.
Where's the gong? Where's the gong?
I think Kurt Angle will be like one of the contenders up there if it ain't Vince.
That's
Yeah.
it. I mean, yeah. Again, he started off. I mean, so there's possibilities.
Randy Orton? Maybe.
Stephanie McMahon, because again, if it wasn't for Stephanie figuring out John Cena's rap skills, you might not have had John Cena as we know it.
That is valid. I like that idea, actually.
All right, we got one more here from good old Mr. Tito. Thoughts on Bad Bunny for the Super Bowl halftime?
I don't watch football.
I don't watch football either.
We brought that up already, though.
He's super popular, but yet I still couldn't name a song of his. That's just odd. That's
Yeah.
I'm in my bubble with music.
I'm about to say the
Him
only song
this
we know
year
by
and
him
then
is
Kendrick
Booker T.
Lamar last year, like two of the worst Super Bowl halftime shows ever.
When did Super Bowls go from like R&B and rock and roll to rap, crap, and hip hop?
I don't know, but it's gonna be a hell of a lot of coquito and a hell of a lot of colors going on. That's all. That's what I
Oh,
think.
good Lord Almighty! It's going to be a freaking,
bright.
It's going to be an international warfare catastrophe on the internet waiting to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
God, the one
happy
here-
for Bad Bunny's fans. That's all I can say.
Eh,
Right. Yeah.
that's
God,
fair.
the one they had here with all the various hip hop ones had so much potential, but man,
You know, going back to earlier, like if WWE could make something happen and Bad Bunny wears a WWE shirt while doing his performance, man, what a coup that would be for WWE.
If
Yeah, remember,
WWE
like
was-
100 million people watch the Super Bowl. Like
Yeah.
that's what's insane worldwide.
That would be great for WWE if
That's
Bad Bunny
crazy.
went out there, wore the WWE logo T-shirt while doing his set.
People
Yeah.
that don't watch
Yeah.
football watch the Super Bowl,
Just
even
do
if it's just for the commercials.
Just do another
Yep.
halftime heat and give us something worthwhile for me to actually care about during
You know
Super
what?
Bowl.
I don't even know if they allow like logos for the performers. Like, do the performers ever wear
Yeah.
like a logo of
Yeah.
just a
as
random
long as they're
company?
not as long as they're not like grossly offensive or they don't go against the sponsors' wishes, then yeah.
Okay. All right. So
They
yeah,
do
you could do
because-
that potentially.
Because Super Bowl performers don't get paid. It's pretty much just exposure for them.
I mean,
Yeah.
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 Look what happened, dude. Look what happened to Janet Jackson, and she disappeared into irrelevancy.
Exposure indeed.
You know that
Look what happened.
that's
Damn.
great.
All right, we're caught up, Virtue.
Go around and do our final words. Jeff Meacham, I'll wait for you. Go ahead, Big G.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes. If Aaron wants to throw something up.
I do, but I have
Oh.
100 graphics thanks to Jeff, so I'm trying to find
I
yours.
sent one video. Shut up.
There you go.
Right.
So everywhere, original Big G 1, Instagram original Big G 1988 because Instagram hates me and wouldn't let me do original Big G 1 because that damn Grayson Waller.
Damn him.
Thank you, Big G.
I
Noah.
made the graphic too, so
Yes, thank you, Jeff.
We'll go over to Noah next.
Appreciate you always, Galaxy and fam. As always, find me if you choose and Fox 916 on the X and on YouTube for all things wrestling. There's City Predicting coming up next week, of course, for Crown Jewel and TNA Bound for Glory. I'll be doing something with Mark Canadian for Nash. Happy birthday to her. Soon with a preview for King of Pro Wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're coming to my 6th anniversary tomorrow. And I'll be back also with Postmortem again with Papatino here regarding double pay-per-view weekend 2. Of course, you know what I'm about. Protecting your mentality, treasure your families, for I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of not football, not politics, not Jay-Z, not hip hop, but professional wrestling. Damn it! And I'll see you next week on the review. It's a simple one.
Thank you, Noah. Now I'll go to Walter Cruz.
Damn, I gotta follow that.
Yep.
Jeez. You can follow me on YouTube at Rage of Wrestling, on the Instagram at walter.cruz.940, and on the X at Walter Alex Cruz. And there's the QR code. Make it easy to follow, so scan away.
Thank you, Walter. All right, Jeff Meacham.
So before we go to the actual video, I just want to throw up the vinyl that my buddy Ariel Bevel, or we're just going to not listen to. Jesus Christ, Aaron. You can delete those, you know. Smart ass. God, you guys are mean. Golly. Probably do a serious plug here for our friend. Jesus Christ. My buddy Ariel Bevel released her first album a few months ago now. And she surprised my dad and I with the vinyl of the record. So I just wanted to show I thought it was really cool of her to do that. She didn't have to do that, so that was really sweet of her. And you can buy that record at the video I sent in. There it is. There we go. You scan the QR code now, as James would say. That's out now. And her next show is going to be over at the Topanga Canyon Mall on Saturday. And then she's going to Japan for a month, her first solo tour. So I'm happy for my buddy. So check her out if you can find. If you're out here in the Valley, go out to Topanga on the 4th, and you can follow me on YouTube and Facebook at Jeff Meacham, and on Twitter or Twix, whatever the hell, Instagram @ Jeff Meacham. And there's my dad. There you go.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Next week it's Collins.
Yes.
Moderate. If he can't, then we'll go back to Gino, just so everybody knows. But Aaron Rick.
Psycho Jet Black sent in one more. Thank you, Psycho. Says, remember Bill Goldberg said he was going to expose WWE. When was that?
I don't know.
After they cut his speech short.
Oh. And he never said anything?
There we go. Hall of Fame tag team. Bitter Bill, Bitter Brett. Boom, let's do it.
There you go. Well, apparently they're
but they hate each other.
Exactly. Well, can they get along?
They're not
be
friends.
an event soon.
They're not friends.
Same show.
Oh my gosh.
Where?
What show is that?
Some
I want to have a
convention.
camera on the ground for that.
Look it up. There's some convention in the next month or so that they're both going to be at same day.
If somebody out there watching is going to be at that convention, bring a hidden camera. Oh my God.
You know, like The Simpsons, like one person's got to get Bill Goldberg, say, hey, come over here to this room. And then somebody else somewhere else is going to say to Bret Hart, here, come in this room. And then they bring both of them and then shut the door, both of them in there with the camera. Perfect.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Somebody
Damn
wear
right.
those glasses that you could record.
Oh, yeah. Just let me get with the metaglass. Absolutely. Yeah, we definitely don't want that on this website anymore. Absolutely not.
Jerry says, and you don't want us to expose ourselves. No, we don't.
No, we almost got thrown off the air for that.
Yes. More than once.
What a giant pain in the ass that was for everybody. Anyway.
Literal pain in the ass.
Literal pain in the ass. That's right.
That's right. All right. So just thank you, everybody, for another great stream tonight. And click on that QR code by Big G's head, because that will take you to the NoDQ merchandise store. Oh, wait.
Big G's head.
Here we go. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Thank you, Psycho. Says, imagine Austin Theory exposing himself on Monday Night Raw. Why would you even?
He did.
He
did. He exposed him as the worst Mr. Money in the Bank ever. Cashing out the U.S. title.
I thought he meant a different type of exposure.
That'd be good for the female audience.
I'm trying to move along with the haha.
Oh, thank you, Jeff.
I'm trying here.
You're trying. I appreciate it.
The female WWE fans will be happy with that.
Yeah, they can go to Chippendales for that. WrestleMania's in Las Vegas. They can get their fix there.
Oh, my God.
That's what Xavier Woods looks like. He's works for Chippendale the way they've been having him.
Oh, let's not talking about
Moving on.
Woods and no.
20 years here.
The WWE are. God.
Oh, my
We're all set.
God.
Yeah, we're all set.
Follow
Hope
me
so,
on
God.
X.com if you dare at NoDQ_virtue. That is it for the NoDQ review 355 for Aaron, for Big G, for Jeff, Walter, Noah, and the whole NoDQ crew and galaxy. Colin, Gino, and everybody. Good night, and we will see you again next time.
Have a good night, folks.
Peace out.